I got to go to the premiere of Suicide Squad. We're going to talk about the movie. Spoilers, not a fan. Before we get started properly though, I know there's been a lot of backlash towards negative reviews about Suicide Squad. Don't know if you've heard about this, but there's actually been a petition started to ban Rotten Tomatoes because of the negative reviews. Mental. Also, one more thing, I might end up mentioning Marvel at some point during this video. That doesn't mean I'm a Marvel fanboy. It doesn't mean I can't see past anything else other than Marvel. It doesn't mean I think that Marvel make the best movies in the world. It's just Marvel and DC. You know, they're both making cinematic universes. They're going to get compared to each other. Before we start actually talking about the film, last night at the premiere, there was a bit before it on the screen. They play, like, interviewers on the screen, and they wanted to start a chant. And because it was all recorded audio, we weren't actually near the crowd. He started going, "Suicide," and the crowd went, "Squad," and he went, "Suicide," and the crowd went, "Squad." But because of the directional nature of a microphone, we couldn't actually really hear the crowd, so it was just a man going, "Suicide, suicide, suicide." Right, let's talk about the movie. This is going to be less like a review and more a rant, really, because, oh my, I am not a fan of this movie at all. It's really weird to judge this film because it actually doesn't feel like a film. It feels like one large montage or sequence. It doesn't even feel like it has a structure. It's just a sequence of things. It's not a film, it's just a thing. Let's start with story. There isn't one. Not that I could tell. There isn't a main character, there isn't a journey, there isn't growth, there isn't an arc, there isn't something to follow, because there isn't really scenes in the film. What? One more time, Jack? There isn't scenes in the film. I guess you could call them scenes, but they're not really. They're just sort of heavily edited moments. It's very clear to me that Warner Brothers got really nervous after Batman vs Superman, and they just have a massive identity crisis, so they just keep trying to change the film after they've made it, and they go, we'll re-edit this, we'll change this, we'll reshoot it so it's funnier, we'll edit it so that it seems more light-hearted than we actually shot it to be. And the fact that there's no story and there's no main character, I don't think is down to what they shot. I think they shot a movie with scenes and a story and a main character. I think. But it's down to the editing. This movie is so chopped up and messed around with. This is not the movie they intended to do when they started. I don't know if you've read anything about the behind-the-scenes mess that went on with Suicide Squad, but the director, David Ayer, only had 6 weeks to write the script. That's not enough. That's not enough time to start making a movie with 6 weeks of script. No. It's just incoherent and inconsistent, especially in tone. What the hell was the soundtrack about? I read and watched some early reviews that said, yeah, the movie's a bit choppy at times, but the soundtrack, mate, it is ace. It is nice. It isn't. It doesn't make sense. Why are Eminem, The White Stripes, and Spirit in the Sky on the same soundtrack? I can tell you why. Because DC went, Guardians of the Galaxy did pop music in a film, and that worked out really well. Let's do that. The reason why the soundtrack works in Guardians of the Galaxy is because those songs mean something to the main character. These songs are just thrown in to make you go, this is entertaining. Look, don't look away. This is fun and entertaining. It's transparent. I can see right through what you're doing. It doesn't work. Again, you might have heard this. The Joker's not really in it much. That's the thing I read. And I sort of understood, because like on the posters, he's separate from the team. In the trailers, he's just got little bits sort of spread around. And I was like, okay, cool. So he's going to have a couple of great scenes, and then that'll be enough. That's like our introduction to this Joker. Like I said, there aren't any scenes in this. I don't really think I can judge Jared Leto's performance as the Joker from what we saw. You know that first trailer we saw where he comes in and then he says to Harley Quinn, I'm not going to kill you, I'm just going to hurt you really, really bad. I was like, I am so excited to see what scene that is a part of. Where does that happen in the story? What's that about? Why does he do it? Has he escaped from Arkham? Is she crazy yet? Does she want to be part of it? There's no context. Spoilers, there is no context for that bit. The scene is edited so oddly. The clip's online somewhere if you want to find it, but it's got like little weird transitions with the colour changes on screen, and Jared Leto goes like, what? And then it cuts to him going, ah, and going weird, and then cutting to him going, I'm not going to kill you. I was like, what's going on? Where's the scene? Where's the scene? That's another thing that's frustrating about the potential of this movie. The cast. Because Jared Leto said that he went method, never came out of character. David Ayer apparently got therapy sessions together, got the cast together to like talk really deeply about themselves and like try and get them to connect with their characters. He got Cara Delevingne to walk around a forest naked to really feel nature and become part of her character. Where is that evident in this film? For example, the first time you meet the Joker in The Dark Knight, he pulls that mask off, says a line, there's your introduction to Heath Ledger's Joker. Holy crap, I'm into this. The introduction to Jared Leto's Joker is just like a 2-shot of Harley Quinn and the Joker. And I was like, oh my god, this is going to be an amazing scene. It's going to be Harley and Quinzel, before she goes crazy, talking to the Joker and the Joker manipulating her into being like him. No, none of that. There's no progression. There's no change. There's just a voiceover that says she fell in love with him. Okay, that's storytelling, I guess. And again, with the reshoots, there's like random flashbacks to like Harley, but then other characters. It's like, whose perspective is this film from? Who are we following? Why do we care? Why does this make sense with the plot that we're seeing? What's the theme? What are we exploring? What's going on? And it really hurts me, and I do take it a little bit like an insult. I've taken it a little bit personally, because I love the Joker. I think the Joker is, I'm going to put this out there, maybe the most iconic character ever created, maybe top 5. And Jared Leto is a good choice to play the character. I was really excited to see what he was doing. I still am. I'm still excited to see what he's going to do with the character, because I still feel like I haven't seen it. I haven't seen what he's going to do. I wonder how they feel. If they I don't know if they've seen it, but I wonder how he feels. Like, his hard work, all of their hard work, has just been like breezed over for the sake of action and basically just several shit music videos. And just to finish this off, because I feel like I could go on forever about this, and we'll probably continue discussing this in the comments. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video talking about spoilers if you want. And this is a problem in Hollywood in general at the moment, but DC especially are very bad culprits of this. What's wrong with making one film? My favourite film is Back to the Future. Now, Back to the Future ends on a cliffhanger, and it has sequels, but all the stories and the character arcs are finished in one film. And then they decided to continue. What happened to let's make one film and see if we want to do more? Let's see if the audience want more of this. Why does everybody assume that they can make everything a franchise? Why couldn't Suicide Squad have been one film, had a main character, let's say Deadshot was the main character, and we saw his arc, and all the rest of the team were supporting, and they had their own little stories as well. Star Trek recently, I didn't massively enjoy Star Trek, but it had one main character, and all the other characters had their own little stories as well, but they weren't the main focus. It feels like here, every star wanted to be front and centre, so nobody was front and centre. Nobody was the main character. What's wrong with making one film? Because they've clearly slotted this into the universe, that's okay, but why not make it one thing? Guardians of the Galaxy was one film. It was one film. Yeah, it had more adventures to be continued, but it wasn't like, right, there's no tie-up to that. That character didn't really get explored properly. That story wasn't finished. What was the deal with that little thing, I guess that's going to be explored in a later film. There's loads of that lately, and I'm sick of it. And Suicide Squad is just another example of that. I came out disappointed, angry, hurt. I thought this could have been good. It's clear what they've done is they've gone, right, okay, those trailers were really successful. Let's make the film like those. Sorry for ranting at you. If you have opinions on Suicide Squad, please leave them in the comments below. But remember, this is all just my opinion. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up, and maybe I'll do more reviews in the future. I enjoy talking about movies, even if I'm not just ranting about them. But until next time, my name's Jack Howard, and bye.